What's up, y'all? This is Throwing Light. I'm LTJ Reeves, and if you're not throwing light, you're not throwing right. Wait, throwing, acting right. Man, that would have been cool if I'd have nailed that 100%. Anyway, we've got our next guest going on here. We've got Connor Toomey, Mr. Cleveland Leather 2024. This is a sad son of my IML 46 brother, Matt Fierce, who's been on this show quite a few times now. So it's an honor and a privilege to have Connor here. Connor, I actually met you at um, Claw LA in 2023. Do you remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
I
good
mean,
to
I
talk again.
just won, right? Or something?
Hmm?
Yeah.
Yes, so that was right after I had won my title. Because even though it's the 2024 title, we have it in early November of the previous year, calendar-wise, uh, because you're going to spend the majority of your year in 24. The contest is at the end of 20.
Right on. I like your earrings. Are those leather flag earrings?
They're not actually full on leather flag. They don't have a red one for the heart, but that was the goal of getting this. Yes.
Right on. So go ahead. Tell us how you got involved in the community.
So years and years ago, back in ancient history, it seems there was this website called Tumblr. I got my first interest in some kink and leather through some pretty early searches on there. Made some local and long term connections, but in the end, the thing that really fully brought me into the leather community was my first time volunteering with Claw. So back in 2017, I had lived in Cleveland for a few years. I wanted to go to Claw for a few, but my class schedule in college didn't really work out with it, with finals and all usually happening during class. Uh, so I finally said, I'm going to volunteer 1 year. And I just found such a cool, welcoming group of people in leather. Uh, and I just got drawn in ever since.
Right on. In terms of things you were attracted to in the community, what have been some of the biggest issues that you would say you've been most involved in championing?
So through my entry into leather, I also figured out for myself that I am non-binary. Uh, I think one of the big things that a lot of progress has been made on recently, but we're not certainly not done with, is making sure that all genders are welcome in the leather community. Uh, Not just accepting cis women as part of the leather community, but trans people of any gender.
So when like what we know how you got involved, but like what made you want to run for a title?
I felt a bit of almost stagnation in Cleveland for a little while, and then watching the previous year's title holders, my Sash Dad Matt, his title brother Andy, uh, they continue to run amazing events together. Uh, but watching them throw their energy into growing the community and making it better made me want to do the same.
What have been some of the biggest challenges that you face while you've been
Biggest challenges, I think, uh, partly the economy is not so great right now. People are a little less willing sometimes to donate money at events because things are tight for everyone. Um, I I wish things could be a better situation so that people could spread the love a bit more. Um, but I think just a little bit of hesitancy across the board.
Um, so when you competed for your contest, we go through it and we have the different categories and stuff, but like what was your message, that you brought to the community when you competed?
I basically said there are too many little factions within the community, and we need to work together right now. There are a lot of forces trying to work against our community, and we can't fight them alone. We can't fight them while we're bickering amongst ourselves. So being able to stand together for the entire leather community, the entire LGBT community is something that we've needed and continue to need.
When you say working together, like what are some ways that you think we could work together?
I think instead of just going to somebody saying, I want to do this event, start with how can I help with your event and build with that. I think not, I think having those kind of conversations mean that we're not going to have as many conflicting schedules of two big events on the same exact date, pulling the same crowd. Schedule events will take different parts of the crowd and both be busy. Having communication like that is how we work together sometimes.
And communication is like, I mean, miscommunication is like the problem at the root of almost everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what have you seen in terms of like that disconnect in communication?
Uh, I think usually the disconnect in communication is a lack of communication, uh,
Excuse me, you said what?
a lack of
Yes,
communication
yes, okay.
of not you're not going to actively be lying to somebody, but you're too busy and you forget to, or it doesn't seem that important at the time. Those kind of things strain those relationships very passively, but it happens.
Yeah. Um, I know it can get overwhelming doing a lot of community work, and I don't know if it's so much forgetfulness, is that you have so much going on. Sometimes, you're trying to figure out like, what is important in this moment, like what can I do, what I feel like doing. And it sucks to sometimes want to be supported for everything, but as you get to doing this, I mean, we all know this is a, like this, we don't come into this circle, of leadership here, expecting to get a paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You know what I'm saying?
no, you expect to spend a fair bit of money doing it.
I mean, you're giving up. You are giving more a lot of times than you're getting back. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just kind of being realistic. Fundraising and putting on events and getting people to show up for things is not easy.
No,
It's not that we fail, but we have expectations when we do events and things, and we expect people to show up. So if we do an event and only 5 people show up, it's hard as a title holder to not think about who's not there because you put so much of your time and energy into it. Where we have to be like, you know what, 5 people showed up. I touch these people. Hopefully, they will have an experience. So, I guess what this is leading me to is mental health. As a title holder, how did that impact you? How has it impacted you? Have you always felt up to task? Have you had low days? Have you had high? What is that experience been like for you?
oh, it definitely has its ups and downs. the stress before putting on an event is difficult a lot of the time. Uh, Running the event has always been that energetic, fun moment for me that kind of breaks me out of anything that I've been in. But even outside of events, there are definitely ups and downs. I've had some of the best moments during my title year, but then 2 weeks later, when it's not an event and I feel less connected to people, that's really one of the biggest things that has brought me down is when I'm not able to attend other events and be part of the community.
Yeah. Um, have you found did you have to in your journey? But my biggest thing, I guess, after I was a title holder was this idea that I needed to give 50 to myself and 50 to my community. And I don't mean to use this word, and I don't want to, but you, you fallen into the trap of giving 90 to the community and 10% to yourself.
Yeah, yeah, I have. That it became a bit of a problem uh, for a couple weeks uh, this summer. Actually, about a month after getting back from IML, I lost my job. I was unemployed for about a month and a half, and I was so torn between continuing to go out and go to events and be involved and donate and everything, or also stay home and save my money until I had a job again. That was really tough. I wanted to go to everything, and I still went to some, of course, but not nearly as much as I wanted to.
What are so the Cleveland scene? I have never been to Cleveland. Cleveland, Ohio. My father used to work for General Motors in Dayton, Ohio.
Okay,
I don't know if I can't remember if I actually had physically been there, but you're in Ohio, and I mean, all states are stereotyped to a certain degree, but um, Ohio's a red state now, right?
it is.
So, what's it like being not only you're a gay man, right? In general, and then also being a leather person. You're in Cleveland. The capital of Ohio is
Columbus.
Columbus. So then, okay, let's backtrack. Is there an Ohio state title?
There is. So my friend Dakaya was Mr. Ohio Leather, uh, one of my classmates at IML.
Oh, so there was Ohio leather at IML.
Yes,
Right.
Dakaya and I, we co-hosted several events through our title year. We're really close throughout.
So is Columbus where that is held?
No, actually, that one is held at Cocktails in Akron, I believe. No, I'm thinking of a different one. I don't actually
Ohio?
remember what that.
So, Akron, Ohio. So Akron.
No C, just
Okay, okay.
AKRON.
I've heard of Akron. I don't know anything about it. Where is that located in the state?
So it
I'm an
is.
American that know what all the states look like. I do. I study geography.
So if this is Ohio,
This.
uh, no, so Akron is a little bit southeast of Cleveland, so right along the eastern edge, about a third of the way down.
Isn't Cleveland on the lake?
Cleveland is at the north on the lake, yes.
And we're saying, and that's Lake
Lake Erie.
Erie. That's what it is.
The some will say best, some will say worst Great Lake.
So is there a gay area in in Cleveland?
So a bit of like the near west side, the Ohio City, the Tremont areas are more of the gay neighborhood, but Leather Stallion, our leather bar, is on the near east side.
Okay. And how big is so? How many people? What's the population?
Um, I don't actually know the population of Cleveland, but reasonably large LGBT community here. The Whenever you're out, you'll see people you know, but you'll also meet people that you've never seen before. Size. You're not drowning in strangers, but you don't know everyone. That nice middle ground.
Right on. And so so down here in Austin, we've got Fourth Street, which is in downtown, which has the majority of our bars. What is y'all's leather bar?
So it's the Leather Stallion. It is the oldest gay bar in Ohio, not just leather bar, gay bar. Uh, been there easily over 50 years. Uh, so that is where my title contest is held. Several other of the Great Lakes Sir and Boy titles are also held there. There's a lot of history.
You
So if
Great,
anybody is in Cleveland, definitely go to the Stallion.
so you said Great Lakes. There's a Great Lakes title.
Yes. So there
What
are
what regions does this cover?
titles. Uh, so I believe they're produced by R&J Leather. They have the uh, Great Lakes Leather Sir, Leather Boy titles, Great Lakes Puppy as well.
So where is that held?
That's also held at the Leather Stallion.
And what region? What does that cover? What area?
So Great Lakes covers any state that touches a Great Lake. Uh, so Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin.
And as that title holder, you're encouraged to visit all these places
Yes.
in 1 year.
Yep.
Has it been done?
It has. Not by everyone who's had every one of those titles, but it definitely has before.
That's a massively large area. I mean, like, wow.
It
Um,
is. Usually, if you're visiting one state, it's easy to visit the next one over. Things aren't quite as far apart the way here as they are in Texas.
oh yeah, cities and towns are further apart than y'all states. So
Mm-hmm.
don't remind me. Don't remind me. Um, so okay. So we've talked about the Cleveland culture a little bit like that. What are some of the big events that the Leather Stallion has?
So uh, in August every year, there's Puppy Days. The Rangers, based out of both Akron and Cleveland, have a big pup themed party uh, on the back patio of the Leather Stallion mid late August, and that is always amazing.
It gets cold there though, right? It snows. It snows there.
It snows, but not for a few more months, hopefully.
Does it ever get too hot to like? It's hard to wear leather down here in Texas in the summertime. Oof, it's rough.
We get a little bit of time like that. Usually late July through August is I will wear my shorts. I'm taking it easy. We're finally getting back into you can wear leather without sweating too much season.
I need to come up there. You need to invite me for an event. So
Of course, anything.
I'm down. You tell me a good one to come. I would love to come up there. I think it would be fantastic.
Oh
Um,
yeah, love to show you around.
so Connor, all right, we're towards the end here. I have one question left for you. Are you ready?
Okay.
What is what's an area or an issue in our community that you feel we are not shedding enough light on?
I think right now there's almost a silent debate between generations and what things are acceptable versus are not. And we're seeing almost passive aggression between them, between older and younger, when we need to have a debate with our words and to decide collectively how do we take this community into the future? How do we bring the ideals of the past to reckon with the goals of the future? How do we combine those properly? And we need to use our words for that instead of just trying to quietly nudge each other out. I think that's something that we haven't entirely done yet.
Connor, how old are you if you don't mind me asking?
I am 32.
I thought you were gonna say 20 something, but all right. That's a very interesting. Yeah, someone said I look 21. That's a lie. So, anyways, I want to spend a little bit more time on this. Um, do you feel that the generations are not working together?
I don't think that there's an inability to work together. Uh, Certainly, a lot of people do. I think that it's the methods that we're using to get things done. It sometimes it feels like we're nudging each other in the shoulder instead of holding each other's hands, type thing. We're still standing next to each other. We're walking forward, but are we working together? Or are we working a little against each other? That's
I feel, I feel that, and let me tell you why. Because the letters are LGBT. Now we've got QIA plus. I've always been torn on using the letters for the reason of disunity. Because this is the deal. We've got all these letters standing next to each other and they're not holding hands.
right.
You see what I'm saying? So, are they working? Look, I'm not gonna say 100%. Like I'm 100% agreeing with you, but in terms of working, yeah, there's some marble throwing.
Yeah.
There's um, there's lots of eye rolling. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Some people thinking that you're not trying hard enough. You're trying too hard. You're focusing on this too much. Let's focus on a common. This is what we all need, and this is how we move forward.
I'm hoping that we get there, Connor, and it's like literally the time to do it is now. It's not getting better for us. I
No.
We should be panicking, to be honest with you, and we should be mobilizing as quickly as possible. But I am not. I carry hope and optimism with me, Connor. And as much as these circumstances that we're going are have happened before, they're still kind of unique in how they're being presented to us or how they're affecting us. And we've got a lot of people that are agitating people, and
Yeah.
that agitation leads to violence.
We
And
saw
I
that
think for
this
our
weekend.
community right now that we need to sidestep as much of that violence as possible.
Right.
Um, I don't find it in our best interest for our safety to go about things in a political way. We have to use a different door. I know that our lives are politicized, but we are not politics. And we
Right.
should not present our lives as a political vote. My belief is that we approach things from a human level because
Exactly. We are human first, and we can use our platform towards politics, but we are not politics itself.
Yes. And that too, we have to relate to people. And relating to people is how you build a bond, how you build a bridge.
Yes.
The world coming together is not it's not an idea that's impossible, but no one wants to do that. And if the world doesn't want to change, it's not going to change. But bringing coming together, that is all in the realm of the hand of the human species. We're not using
Yeah.
our intellects, and that is the problem. And so now we are looking, and I'll straight up acting like animals against us, animals. And that's what's supposed to separate us as human beings and animals is that intellect. And you see that they're not using it. And so I think the struggle here for us, because it is a very aggressive climate, these people are aggressive towards us, that we have to avoid agitation. And what I mean like that is engaging toxic dialogues that only revs these people up. We cannot have a political conversation with anyone, to be honest with you, because everyone is just like hitting this wall, and the communication, the humanity, the relatability, it's just blocked. And we just can't. I'm not being I'm not being pessimistic because I'm Mr. Hope, Mr. Rogers. What I'm saying is that we cannot communicate. That communication is just not
The, the conversation is all mouths and no ears.
right.
Everybody wants to say their point and nobody wants to listen.
Right.
Uh, on all sides, really.
It is, and but I have a trouble using the word size because what I see happening isn't like two opposites right now. There's like chaos and a fake reality, and there's reality, and that's what we're dealing. It's not even. This isn't a political. This is a. These have people have created an alternate universe
Mm-hmm.
where you need guns, and that's a God given right, and all like this. That is the crazy. That's the crazy. And
Yeah.
they will sidestep. They don't like what common sense person would not think that, oh my God, there's a gun problem. We got to do something about having all these guns. They're like, no, you just need to get armed guards. Like, what the? It's, and so I don't do it, dude. I don't do it. It's not worth it. Talking to these people about these things, it's not getting zero. Nothing's going to happen. You got to go around that dialogue and create a new one.
And a lot of times when you engage in conversation with some of these people, it just gives a bigger platform to some of the people who want to say some awful stuff.
Because we're giving them attention, and that's
Yeah,
a lot.
totally. If you don't give them the attention, they can't spread their bullshit.
They hate that, and that's the thing. I don't even, and I just like politics and Facebook. That is the stupidest. You're asking for it. Like why? And people in our community get stressed out about social media, and I'm like, well, don't post on. Like you have to be.
Yeah.
The thing about Facebook, it adds this like this pressure and unnecessary, like unreal, like weight of our words. Like everybody has something to say on Facebook, and then it turns into these fictitious fights and
Yeah.
squabbles that if you took it away, they wouldn't exist.
You're never worried about what a stranger says about you until it's a comment on Facebook.
Exactly. No, you wouldn't even think about it. I was in Facebook jail for a month. I just got out 2 days ago. And every time I looked at my Facebook app, I was like, fuck, drama. Just drama.
That's all it's there for. Drama and farm bill.
Like 2% of the time you might run into an actual conversation where people are like, look, we're trying to put this, we're like, there are people that do try to have like neutral conversations and they succeed, but it's rare. It's
It is.
it's rare. All right, we could go on forever. I'm going to go ahead.
We could.
We're going to wrap this up. Connor, thank you so much for being on Throwing Light. Of
Of
course,
course. Thank you so much for having me.
first. But before I let you go, you have to do what everybody else does, and you have to close the show out. So I'm going to count to three, and when I count to three, you're going to say if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. You ready?
Ready.
2, 3.
If you're not throwing light, You're not acting right.
Here we come, world. Thank you so much, Connor. Y'all, that's been Throwing Light, and we're out.